Assalamu alaikum. I hope all of you are doing well. Today we're going to start cardiac muscle. Last time we were studying muscles and we studied skeletal muscles. अच्छा बच्चे सब लोगों के क्वेश्चंस बहुत से आ रहे हैं कि हम कौन सी बुक फॉलो करें, किस तरह से क्या हमारा स्टडी करिकुलम होगा, किस तरह से चलना चाहिए। अच्छा तो ऐसे है कि ये बेसिकली कुछ टॉपिक्स हैं हिस्टोलॉजी के, विच आई एम टीचिंग इन एनाटमी। I'm not going into so much detail because we'll study it in detail in histology. Properly we'll study it in histology. अब अगर हम बात करते हैं कनेक्टिव टिश्यू की तो there is a separate chapter of connective tissues in histology, whereas we are just getting an overview of these muscles, these tissues in these lectures because in essence we are studying anatomy right now. So आप लोगों ने जितने मैं टॉपिक्स पढ़ा रहा हूँ, जितनी चीज़ें पढ़ा रहा हूँ, उसकी थोड़ी सी डिटेल स्टडी कर लें टू अंडरस्टैंड इट बेटर, बट डोंट गो इनटू टू मच डिटेल बिकॉज विल गो इनटू डिटेल्स इन हिस्टोलॉजी व्हेन वी स्टार्ट स्टडिंग प्रॉपर हिस्टोलॉजी। सो अब हमारे इसमें से दो टॉपिक्स टोटल रह गए। वन इज़ मसल्स, ये हमने ख़त्म करना है, और उसके अलावा नर्वस टिश्यू के बाद फिर हम स्टार्ट करेंगे मस्कुलोस्केलेटल सिस्टम, जिसमें अपर लिम्ब से हम स्टार्ट लेंगे। तो अभी थोड़ा सा इसे कार्डिक मसल को देख लेते हैं, देन आई गो थ्रू विद नर्वस टिश्यूज़ एंड देन हम मस्कुलोस्केलेटल पे जाएंगे इन द नेक्स्ट अपकमिंग लेक्चर्स। सो कार्डिक मसल को अगर हम देखें तो कार्डिक मसल में जो हमने पहले टाइप पढ़ी है स्केलेटल मसल, कुछ उसकी प्रॉपर्टीज़ होती हैं और कुछ स्मूथ मसल्स की प्रॉपर्टीज़ होती हैं। किस तरह से? कार्डिक मसल इज़ मोनोन्यूक्लिएटेड एज अपोज टू मल्टीन्यूक्लिएटेड skeletal muscle, but it is striated, which is similar in structure to skeletal muscle, but this striation is not as organized as in skeletal muscles। ठीक है, स्केलेटल मसल्स में प्रॉपर आपको सिलेंड्रिकल शेप के सेल्स मिलते हैं जो कि स्टैक हुए हुए होते हैं मायोफाइब्रिल्स की सूरत में, मसल फाइबर्स की सूरत में, एंड देन पेरीमाइसियम एपीमाइसियम जैसे हमने पढ़ा, और उनका जो है मेन फंक्शन होता है कॉन्ट्रैक्शन एंड रिलैक्सेशन। अच्छा, जो मेन फ़र्क आता है कार्डिक मसल्स में और उनमें स्केलेटल मसल्स में, वो आता है इनकी कॉन्ट्रैक्शन रिलैक्सेशन फ़ेज़ का। अगर हम स्केलेटल मसल्स को देखें तो उनमें दो पीक्स होती हैं। ये हम प्रॉपर्ली स्टडी करेंगे फिजियोलॉजी में कि मसल पोटेंशियल किस तरह काम करता है, एक्शन पोटेंशियल किस तरह काम करता है। खैर, अगर हम स्केलेटल मसल्स को देखते हैं तो उनमें दो फेजेस होते हैं। वन इज़ कॉन्ट्रैक्शन फेज़, जब करंट शूट करता है, एंड द अदर वन इज़ रिलैक्सेशन फेज़, जब उसमें करंट नहीं होता। ऑन दी अदर हैंड कार्डिक मसल्स में एक एक्स्ट्रा फेज़ होता है जिसे हम कहते हैं प्लेटू फेज़। प्लेटू फेज़ इज़ ड्यू टू प्रेजेंस ऑफ कैल्शियम आइंस, क्योंकि कार्डिक मसल्स ने थोड़ी देर तक कंट्रैक्शन जो है और इसी तरह से रिलैक्सेशन वो रिटेन करके रखनी होती है, और इन्होंने जब भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट या रिलैक्स करना है तो इन्होंने होमोलोगेशन में करना है विद अदर मसल्स, कार्डिक मसल्स विच आर प्रेजेंट देयर, अदर सेल्स विच आर प्रेजेंट देयर। तो इसलिए इनका स्ट्रक्चर थोड़ा यूनिक होता है। तो हम जानते हैं द मेन पर्पस ऑफ हार्ट इज़ टू पंप ब्लड ऑल ओवर द बॉडी। इसमें इसे दो तीन तरह से काम करना पड़ता है। फर्स्ट, वेन्स के थ्रू जो ब्लड आ रहा है उसे इसने खींचना होता है, एंड इट हैज़ टू पंप इट आउट इनटू और लंग्स टू ऑक्सीजनेट इट। देन लंग्स से अगेन वेन्स के ज़रिए ब्लड आ रहा होता है जो लेके इसने पूरी बॉडी में पंप करना होता है थ्रू आर्टरीज। अच्छा, तो अब ऐसे है कि आर्टरीज में जब पंप करता है ब्लड हार्ट, तो इट पंप्स ब्लड विच फॉलोज़ द ग्रेविटेशनल पुल। जब लोअर लेग्स में ब्लड जाता है तो ग्रेविटेशनल पुल के ज़रिए जाता है, ठीक है, तो वहाँ पे ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ती। बट टू पंप द ब्लड टूवर्ड्स द head and upper limbs, it has to work against the gravity. That's why we need a strong pump to pump the blood against the gravity, and that purpose is fulfilled by cardiac muscle cells, myocytes, cardiac myocytes. or in the or we can say myocardium as a whole. So the cardiac muscles are mononuclear. They are striated but not as organized as skeletal muscles, and their contractions are via autonomic nervous system or involuntary neural input. जो specific structures हैं which are specifically present in cardiac muscles are intercalated discs. Basically different muscles के दरमियान में spaces होती हैं which are known as gap junctions. ठीक है, those gap junctions help in propelling the ions from one muscle cell into another muscle cell. ठीक है, दो मसल्स के दरमियान में छोटी छोटी जंक्शंस होती हैं. अच्छा, अब अगर हम ये देखते हैं उसमें स्केलेटल मसल की सूरत में, तो हम कह सकते हैं सार्कोमियर से दूसरे सार्कोमियर में जंप करता है करंट थ्रू द जी लाइन. ऑन दी अदर हैंड कार्डियक मसल्स में स्पेसिफिक सेल्स होते हैं अलग-अलग, फाइब्रिल्स टाइप अरेंजमेंट इसकी नहीं होती. और इसमें गैप जंक्शंस में स्पेसिफिक स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं जिन्हें हम कहते हैं इंटरकैलेटेड डिस्क्स. इंटरकैलेटेड डिस्क्स स्पेसिफाइड चैनल्स होते हैं, स्पेसिफिक चैनल्स होते हैं जिनके थ्रू आइंस पुश होते हैं फ्रॉम वन मसल सेल इनटू अनदर मसल सेल. It helps in retaining the contraction and relaxation phase, helps in retaining the plateau phase, ताकि जब कार्डिक मसल ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करना है तो इट हेल्प्स इन रिटेनिंग दैट कॉन्ट्रैक्शन फॉर 0.3 to 0.5 सेकेंड्स. ठीक है, और इंटरकैलेटेड डिस्क की वजह से तमाम कार्डिक मसल जो हैं वो अटैच्ड होते हैं इंटरनली. उसकी वजह से जब करंट आता है तो हार्मोनाइज्ड मोशन में वो तमाम के तमाम मसल्स तक पहुंचता है. वो तमाम मसल्स काम करते हैं एज अ सिंगुलर ऑर्गन और पंप इफेक्टिव होता है कार्डिक पंप. ठीक है, तो इंटरकनेक्टेड डिस्क्स आर बेसिकली कनेक्शंस व्हिच आर प्रेजेंट बिटवीन कार्डियोसाइट्स. Okay, let me show you the intercalated discs here. Okay, so these are the intercalated discs where gap junctions are located. So you can see the neural output from one cell, from one muscle, travels into another muscle without any delay, and it can freely move between the muscle cells so as to harmonize the motion of the cardiac muscles. Okay, cardiac muscles run perpendicular to the so these intercalated discs and contractions in the cardiac muscle, they run perpendicular to the long axis of the muscle. So जो है उसके साथ साथ चलता है, and it allows for electrical impulses to migrate through each cell and the whole organ as a whole. Here we can see the structure of a cardiac muscle. Here there are nuclei located. A single nucleus is present between two C lines in a single muscle. Here we can see the bands, light bands and dark bands in a cardiac muscle. ठीक है, वैसे ही Z lines located है, वैसे ही सब कुछ है. So this was the cardiac muscle. We'll study it further on in cardiac physiology when we'll go through it, because it is a very vast topic. We have to understand it completely. So we'll go into detail in cardiac physiology. Okay, यहाँ पे हमने इसीलिए सबसे ज़्यादा जो है emphasize किया था skeletal muscles पे, because we just need to understand the skeletal muscles right now, because we are going to do the musculoskeletal system next. Now we come to the structure of smooth muscle. Smooth muscles are located in gastrointestinal tract. Basically, skeletal muscles are located with the bones. Smooth muscles are not in our control. They are involuntary muscles, mononucleated muscles with no striations in between. Okay, and myofilaments are not divided nor aligned into myofibrils and repeated units like skeletal muscles. They are located in a single plane in the shape of different cells. Okay, they contract by involuntary neural output and or stimulation by different hormones, different chemicals, and they show slow and prolonged contractions as opposed to the skeletal muscles, which show rapid fast contractions. Okay, so what is the meaning of stimulation by hormones or chemicals? Let me explain it in detail. which होता है इससे कि in gastrointestinal tract there are different hormones which control the release of products which control the movement of musculature, such as there is a hormone that is known as cholecystokinin CCK. It aids and it controls the emptying of stomach and movement of chyme from stomach into the intestines and vice versa. ओके उसी तरह से और भी हार्मोन्स हैं जो कि कंट्रोल करते हैं ये सारा प्रोसीजर. सोमैटोस्टैटिन है वो सब कुछ रोकने का काम करता है. गैस्ट्रिन है जो गैस्ट्रिक सिक्रीशंस को इंक्रीज़ करता है, एसिड की सिक्रीशंस को इंक्रीज़ करने की वजह से बनता है और वो हमारी डाइजेशन में मदद करता है. This is the structure of a smooth muscle. You can see the smooth muscles are located here. Spindle shaped cells are located here. These are smooth muscle cells. They are present in layers, not as much arranged as the cardiac muscle cells. No myofibrils can be seen here. No muscle fibers arranged in a specific manner can be seen here. They are just haphazardly arranged in a single plane. So these are smooth muscles. Every muscle cell contains a single nucleus as opposed to skeletal muscle. जब आपको MCQs आएंगे तो इसी तरह से आएंगे. For example, there will be a MCQ which states non-striated singular muscle cells with slow contractions is, and there will be 4 or 5 options. There would be option of cardiac muscle, there would be option of skeletal muscle, there would be an option of smooth muscles of GI tract, there would be an option of let's suppose muscles of you can say radius or ulna. So you have to choose the GI muscles from there. Okay, now let's discuss the nomenclature of the muscles. How do we name the muscles? There are different techniques which are used to name different muscles, such as they can be named according to their shape, such as the trapezius muscle. Trapezius muscle is located near the shoulder joint. It is diamond shaped. I think it is located near the shoulder joint. I'll elaborate it more in the group if you ask. It can be named according to the number of heads of origin, such as the biceps muscles, triceps or quadriceps. Biceps are those muscles which have 2 heads of origin, such as the biceps brachii, which is located in the near the which originates from near the shoulder joint, controls the flexion of or forearm basically. Triceps is a muscle that has 3 heads of origin. Quadriceps has 4. Quadriceps is located in the leg. Then muscles can be named according to the gross structure of the muscles, such as semitendinosus, semimembranosus, because they look like a tendon, they look like a membrane, but are in turn muscles. They can be named according to their location, such as temporalis from the temporal bone, supraspinatus which arises above the spinous process, intercostal muscles which are located between the ribs. They can also be named according to their attachments, such as stylohyoid, cricothyroid. Stylohyoid arises from the styloid process and goes to hyoid bone. Cricothyroid from cricoid process till the thyroid. And they can also be named according to the direction of fibers, such as external oblique, transversus abdominis, etc., etc. So the nomenclature of muscles mostly you have to remember it by heart. तो इसे रट्टा लगाना पड़ता, ठीक है. They can't be, there are many schemes which can be used to name the muscles, and as you go further studying the anatomy, you'll come upon the names of many muscles and you'll memorize them by heart. Nerve supply of the skeletal muscles is discussed now. So let's discuss the nerve supply. The nerve supplying a muscle is called a motor nerve. Motor nerve is that nerve which controls the motion of the muscle, contraction or relaxation of the muscle, and it has following types of fibers. It contains 60% motor fibers and 40% sensory fibers. What are the motor fibers? Motor fibers are of the following types. They can be large myelinated alpha efferents which supply the extrafusal muscle fibers. They can also be the smaller myelinated gamma efferents. Alpha are the larger ones, gamma efferents are the smaller ones which supply the intrafusal fibers of the muscle spindles. And they can also be fine non-myelinated autonomic efferents for blood vessels. What is the difference between myelinated and non-myelinated? Myelinated nerves contain a myelin sheath over them, over the axons. That's why the nerve impulse which travels through the myelinated fibers is faster as compared to the non-myelinated one. Large myelinated would carry nerve impulse fastly and moreover cover larger area, whereas small myelinated with cover smaller area. Efferent is always efferent word is used when the thing is traveling from a major structure towards the end organ. For example, here efferent means the nerve impulse is traveling from the central nervous system towards the end organ, which is the muscle, whereas afferents are those which mean the impulse is traveling from you can say impulse is traveling from the end organ towards the central organ. So sensory fibers constitute 40% of these nerves in skeletal muscles. Sensory fibers contain myelinated fibers which are distributed to muscle spindles, tendons and fascia, and non-myelinated fibers which carry pain sensation, touch sensation, etc. Okay, what is a motor neuron? They also contain motor unit. Motor unit is a single alpha motor neuron which is present together with the muscle fibers which is supplied by it. So it is basically a center through which the nerve impulse or the orders come for the muscle contraction or relaxation. Neuromuscular junctions are those junctions where the nerve's axon meets the muscle. Here when we'll study the structure of nerves, you can understand it better. The nerves has long processes which are known as axons that carry the nerve impulse away from the you can say nucleus towards the ending organ, the muscle, and where those axons meet the muscle, they are known as neuromuscular junctions. The axons of motor nerves do not have myelin sheath. They break up into smaller branches here neuromuscular junction and supply the individual muscle fibers. They are rich in acetylcholine. Achha. Okay, so basically acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter that is present at the neuromuscular junctions. It is released from the axon of the nerve and in the neuromuscular junction it travels and goes to a site on the muscle, that is acetylcholine receptor, and generates a nerve impulse in the muscle that orders it to contract or relax. Okay, we'll study it further in histology and physiology. बेसिकली बच्चे मेडिकल जो है साइंस या ये जो सब्जेक्ट्स हैं ये इतने वास्ट हैं कि अगर हम एक चीज़ को डिस्कस करने बैठ जाएं तो इट मे टेक अस वीक्स टू डिस्कस दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग. दैट्स व्हाई वी आर जस्ट डूइंग द बेसिक्स राइट नाउ. If you have the knowledge of the basics, then you'll understand the complex topics which are going to come in the future. So that's why we are taking it step by step. So first understand the basics and then go towards the complexities of these things. अगर हम सिर्फ nerve impulse generated in muscles डिस्कस करने बैठ जाए तो it may take us 2 to 3 weeks. Mark my words. So पहले ये देखते हैं नर्व इम्पल्स है क्या, मसल है क्या, मसल के स्ट्रक्चर्स क्या होता है, इसका काम क्या होता है. देन विल गो टूवर्ड्स द impulse generation, action potential and those things. Khair, let's discuss the actions of muscles. So as we know, there is contraction, there is relaxation. What is contraction? Contraction is the process in which the muscle shortens by 1/3 of its belly length and brings a movement to the part where it is attached. Okay. Contractions are of two types: isotonic and isometric. Isotonic contractions are those contractions where the length of the muscle is decreased, such as when you are going to pick up a thing, a ball, let's suppose, with your hand. It is an example of isotonic contraction. Your muscle contracts, your biceps contracts, your forearm lifts up and you can lift up the thing. That is isotonic. Isometric is whereas the length remains the same and the tension is same as the load. It is basically seen when you maintain the tone of the body structures. अगर आप बिल्कुल अपने हाथ को ढीला छोड़ दें, अपने बाजू को ढीला छोड़ दें, it still stays in a you can say particular manner. It doesn't fall off or it doesn't get D-shaped. That is an example of isometric contraction. There are two types of fibers which are present in the muscles. There are slow fibers, there are fast fibers. Type 1 fibers are known as slow fibers. Now this can be a good example of an MCQ that can be made from here. So slow fibers are those fibers which show slow tonic contractions, and these are present in case of postural muscles which maintain the posture of our body. Those type 1 fibers are reddish in color because of large amount of myoglobin that is present there, and they are rich in mitochondria and oxidative enzymes, and they are highly resistant to fatigue. Whereas type 2 fibers are present where we require a fast or phasic contraction of large scale for the movements of body segments, such as the biceps and triceps would show these kind of fibers. And they are pale in color because of less presence of myoglobin. They are rich in glycogen but poor in mitochondria and oxidative enzymes. They are quite easily fatigued. All your major muscles have predominantly these kind of fibers, and there can be intermediate fibers which contains the properties of both type 1 type 2. Now let's discuss some clinical terms regarding muscles. So what is paralysis? Paralysis of a muscle is a condition in which there is loss of motor power of a muscle, either by damage to motor neuron, which is known as neuropathy, or by internal disease of the muscle, which is known as myopathy. when the particular nerve that supplies a muscle is cut, neuropathy is seen. Whereas when there is internal disease of muscle, such as Duchenne muscular dystrophy, is a disease in which the channels present on the muscle, they get damaged or they decrease in number. That is a myopathic disease. Muscular spasm is a condition in which there is painful repetitive contractions of a muscle. Localized spasms are caused by muscle pulls and they can be treated by relaxation of the muscle. Generalized muscle spasm of the whole body are seen in two conditions, that is tetanus and in epilepsy. मिर्गी के दौरे पड़ते हैं जो, और टेटनस का जो मर्ज होता है, तशन्नुज जिसे उर्दू में कहते हैं. Those in those two conditions there are generalized muscle spasm of the whole body. और इसमें बड़ा पर्टिकुलर सा पोज बनता है टेटनस में. ऑप्सिथोटोनस उसे कहते हैं, ड्यू टू कॉन्ट्रैक्शन ऑफ मसल्स ऑफ द वर्टेब्रास. आर्च बैक पोज उसे कहते हैं. अच्छा, उसके अलावा व्हाट इज़ डिसयूज एट्रोफी एंड हाइपरट्रॉफी? दीज आर टू टर्म्स विच विल कम अगेन एंड अगेन. If muscles are not used for a long time, they become thin, they become weak, and this is known as disuse atrophy. Mostly seen in after the fractures of different bones. When a bone is fractured, you apply a cast on that particular part. You do not use that muscle for 40 to 45 days, and if you come to measure the mass of the muscle against the mass of muscle of other let's suppose part, for example, right radius ulna is fractured, you applied a cast. Now you, after 45 days when you take off the cast, if you measure the circumference of forearm of right side and compare it with the circumference of left side, the right side would be shorter. That is due to decreased muscle mass, decreased proteins in the muscles due to disuse of the muscle. Whereas hypertrophy is when there is adequate or excessive use of muscle, which causes the increased development of a muscle or hypertrophy of a muscle. Good example are the muscles of a bodybuilder. He repetitively picks up weights every day, and as a result you can see his biceps, triceps, everything else is increased in size as compared to a normal individual. Same can be seen in athletes. Okay, and there is muscle wasting that occurs in paralysis. The muscle mass is the same, but if you try to measure the circumference, it would be lesser as compared to a normal muscle due to paralysis, due to non-innervation of nerves, no nervous impulses. Regeneration of a skeletal muscle. If a skeletal muscle gets damaged, there is very limited properties, there is very limited chance that it would regenerate, and it regenerates to a very low extent. Usually it is replaced by connective tissue, fibrous tissue, scar formation, for example. Good example is, you can see in burn victims, if a person burns his or her hand, and after some time contractures would develop on that particular site. Contractures are blackish colored, fibrous tissue would cover that area, and the muscles would be non-viable. You cannot use those muscles. If the injury is small, it can regenerate, but if the injury is larger in extent, you cannot use those muscles again. Okay, which I know today's lecture is only 30 minutes in length approximately. When we do the nervous tissue, I'll try to finish it in one go, and after that we'll start the musculoskeletal. And I'm planning to conduct a small test, MCQs based test assessment in the upcoming week. I'll notify 3 or 4 days prior to that test the date of the test, and most probably I'll use some website or some app to upload the test there, and you'll have one chance to give the correct answer. And I hope every one of you would attempt it and would not cheat on that test. So it is just a simple assessment. The marks would not be shown to anybody else, and just you will be able to see your marks. Okay, so I hope all of you will perform well, and please revise these two chapters, the introduction to anatomy and the connective tissues. The test questions would come from these. Most probably there would be 20 to 30 MCQs, and you'll get 1 minute per MCQ. Okay, so take care of yourselves and please stay indoors. In Pakistan there is very increased incidence of COVID-19 cases these days. Please stay indoors, protect yourselves, always wear masks and gloves when you go outside. Take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.